Carucci, Jay Skursky at St. John Fisher College, Buffalo Bills training camp. The Bills wrapping up practice and getting ready for their second preseason game at Cleveland. So Jay, let's start, of course, with the quarterbacks. It was an interesting morning in the sense that after yesterday, with A.J. McCarron suffering sort of a lower leg injury, and then Nathan Peterman, something with his right, apparently it's his elbow because that was wrapped today, but he had an injury there. And then all of a sudden, they come out today, they're both participating, although a little shift here with the rotation because McCarron, yes, worked with the starters, but then Josh Allen moving into the number 2 unit. Yeah,
and more than just for a couple of reps. We saw him take all of the number 2 work today, so that was a significant departure from the way that it has been. We had seen Allen work in with the first team a little bit, and that kind of dried up actually last week, at least when they were doing 11-on-11 stuff. But he got exclusively number 2 reps today, and I certainly wonder what that means, you know, moving forward for not just the plan at Cleveland on Friday, but, you know, the third preseason game. To me, it signifies that they're putting a little bit more on his plate. So I think that was a significant development.
I think it's a huge development to see Allen working with the 2s and doing a solid job while he was there. Nathan Peterman with the 3s worked a 2-minute and then 1-minute offense near the goal line, was intercepted on his final throw. So again, just take whatever you want from that. But overall, the quarterback picture, the one we're going to keep an eye on, you wonder when there will be a more definitive sense of what they'll do with a starter. I don't think anyone necessarily has a pronounced lead, even though A.J. McCarron has worked quite a bit with the number 1s. It wouldn't shock me in the least if we see Allen move up to the number 1 spot, possibly as soon as this coming game against Cleveland.
Yeah, right. I don't think you can rule it out. I would still be surprised if it happened that soon. I think that McCarron, quite frankly, deserves to get the Cleveland game. Now that, you know, Peterman had the game against Carolina, it would make sense to stick with that rotation at least through the second week of the preseason. But, you know, we're at the point now where you want to start narrowing in on a decision because you'd like to have that guy in place before that third game, which is sort of the, you know, the quote-unquote dress rehearsal.
Been a lot of situational work at practice. On Sunday, they did 2-minute drill, they did red zone drill, they worked backed up to the goal line. Today, we saw a lot of hard count work, and they did get the defense to jump off sides, which of course
worked.
And
it worked.
It cracks me up because the defense knows they're working on hard count. Right. You would think that would be the one time it wouldn't happen, but it did work for them. Now the tight end position, just some interesting thoughts there, and you're going to be doing some writing about that that we'll see on the BN Blitz.
Yeah, you know, I think that we know that Charles Clay is established as the starting tight end for this team. That goes without saying, but there's a pretty interesting competition, I think, behind him for jobs. And, you know, a lot of people assume Nick O'Leary was safe as the number 2 tight end. And then you had Logan Thomas, who played last year, Kari Lee in that blocking role. One guy to keep an eye on, Jason Kroom, undrafted free agent in 2017, spent last year on the practice squad. I feel like he's taken a little bit of a leap here in training camp, and to the point where he's competing now, I think, for maybe one of the final spots on the 53-man roster. Maybe he could force a guy like O'Leary off the roster, or, you know, or Logan Thomas, somebody like that. But I think he's done a nice job at camp. It seems like he's got a play or two every day that kind of gets him noticed. Big guy, former wide receiver, has the athleticism that you would expect to go along with that. So he's a name that I think fans should watch over the last 3 preseason games.
Yeah, more of a pass-catching guy at the position, but for sure in this Brian Daboll offense, the tight end gets a lot of opportunities to catch the ball. So check out that piece from Jay Skursky. And for Jay Skursky and for Harry Skull, I'm Vic Carucci. Check back for much, much more at BN Blitz.